Good day everyone, my name is Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture. In this series of programs I'll be talking to an American musician who so much fell in love in Poland that he decided to stay for good. Just last month in November there was a premiere of his musical Letter from Warsaw. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Gutman.
Nice to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
And thank you for being with us. But before we dig up more of his secrets, at first, let's listen to his music. Gary, you're an American musician who made his way through lots of amazing bands to Poland. How did it happen?
Looking back, I've had a long and amazing career so far, and I'm not finished yet. I started in the United States. I moved to Canada in my early 20s. Stayed there for about 25 years. Of course, growing up as a teen, I studied classical trumpet and I studied composition and orchestration, and I played in rock and roll bands and jazz bands. I played with Kenny G for about a year in a rock band. He's from Seattle, I'm from Portland, Oregon originally. I even toured with the Bee Gees for about 3 or 4 weeks, believe it or not. That was actually great fun. And then when I moved to Canada, it became a situation of, I was lucky. I was in the right place at the right time. I was in cities where big productions were happening. There was a lot of American and international money that was coming to Canada because at the time the Canadian dollar was very cheap, so there were record recordings and television commercials and jingles and movies. Everything was being done in Canada. I lived in Vancouver at the time. We were busy 7 days. I was in the for 10 years. I was in the recording studio just about every day. I played in the Vancouver Opera Orchestra as well. I had my own jazz band. I had a big band, I had a jazz quintet. And those experiences just continued, and I found myself so lucky to be involved with great mentors, great men and women with tremendous experience, international experience. I performed with Tom Jones and Paul Anka and Dionne Warwick and Sergio Mendes in Brazil 66, Tony Bennett, Mel Torme, only because I was in the right place at the right time. I took composition lessons from Henry Mancini, for example, because we happened to be in the same city at the same time for about 6 weeks. And I asked him if he would teach me, and he said, sure. I was surprised that he would give me that time, but he did. Coming to Poland was not something I had ever thought I would do. But I met a wonderful musician, fantastically talented, smart, wise, beautiful Polish woman who we had a long-distance relationship for a couple of years, email and telephone, and then I began to realize that I think this was the one that I'd been waiting for. And the long and the short of it is that we finally did decide to get married. This was about 12 years ago, and I moved to Poland to be with her and started from zero, actually, in Poland. But thanks to her and wonderful Polish musicians who were supportive of me and friends and the jazz community and the creative community, they accepted me immediately. It took some time to grow and develop a new career. I didn't speak Polish in the beginning at all, and that's slows things down, of course. But as I was able to speak a little bit more, I have to say that just about everybody in the arts community wanted to speak English with me all the time. I think maybe because of my American accent, because Poles who learn English tend to speak with a British accent, which is lovely. But in the arts community, especially the jazz musicians, I guess they kind of like the American accent. So
much easier.
Well, I think so.
And jazz comes from, lots of jazz comes from US.
For sure. With the help of a lot of people, but most importantly my wife, who committed herself to introducing me to the musical community and the creative community here. I've had lots of wonderful experiences and some wonderful successes, and it's been terrific here.
And you're making projects. Right now you have the album, you started with Sasha Stronin, the album Woman in Black, and then Self-Portrait, and you're having a musical as well. Could you tell, that's so much, but what was before?
My wife, for all of her help, she demanded that, she's a harpist, she's a concert harpist, and she demanded that I compose a concerto for her. And I said, fair enough. So I did. Actually, I've composed 2 full concertos for harp and orchestra for her, and she's performing those around Poland. And I just completed a new trumpet concerto. Actually, I'm editing all the parts today, and I start performing that in January. I have 4 concerts around Poland with a new trumpet concerto. And my co-writer, who worked with me on Letter from Warsaw, and I have a new idea for our next musical. This will take a few years to develop, but it's a terrific idea, and it's about an infamous Polish character. I won't say any more now, but it's a fascinating story.
All very interesting. I'm looking forward to see it, and hopefully I will also see your musical as well. And you track the career and all music projects of very multitasking Gary Gutman here in Poland, a man who we actually imported, and we hopefully keep him for a much longer time. And thank you for watching Poland Daily Culture.